one and all, and I don't know. They're like, she's like, you know what? Give me 1 second. Let me take that one more time.
I thought you were going to bring out your belt for a second. It's like,
belt? No.
Oh.
Hello, one and all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Off the Dome. I'm your humble interviewer, Dr. Doom, and with me, for the very first time, is our marvelous meme maker. Say hi, marvelous meme maker.
Marvelous meme maker. Thank you for committing to the bit.
Well worth it.
That looked like a wrestling mask, like a luchador mask.
It does kind of look like that. I mean, it definitely is supposed to be Dr. Doom. The square eyes, I think, give it away. Yeah, it's the reviews on Amazon, with apologies to everyone that hates Amazon. I needed it in 2 days. Where it's a good mask, but it has a weird smell. And I was like, I can handle that. This is for a 30-second bit.
Does it have weird smell?
Videos on TikTok, so... It smells fine. It smells like it's like a rubber mask. Like, you know, I don't know what you expect.
Like rubber.
Yeah. Anyway, hello, Ryan.
So, Jordan, it is always a pleasure to talk to you.
It's so good. Yeah, we were talking earlier this week, and you're like, it would be really funny if you put on a Doom mask. If you jumped in the interview with a Doom mask, and I was like, well, that's happening now.
I'm glad I gave you enough time to make that happen.
Yeah, I was a little worried, but there was a literal prime Doom mask available.
Amazing.
I guess for context, for people who don't have any idea what's happening, we're in the now second annual. Apparently, you can't call things first annual. I tried to call something first annual this year, and someone got really mad at me about it because it can't be annual until there's been at least two.
But then wouldn't that mean the second one is the first annual?
I guess I don't know.
Maybe our whole parlance is wrong with calling it a second.
But it is the annual Doctors Without Borders fundraiser, which is super exciting. Last year we raised, it was like $26,000 something.
A little bit over $26,000. There was we hit 25K, and then there was one of the streams got postponed. I think it was with Nat.
I was in that one.
The one that you were in, and that one raised, I think, enough to put it over 2,600. I don't know the exact amount, but it was a good stream.
Yeah.
And been riding that high ever since, and now we're trying to double it.
Yes. You thought I was going to bring out the belt. I am, in fact, going to bring out the belt.
Your victory belt.
Yes.
Did you enjoy the child size that I
do enjoy the child size. My son loves it because he can wear it. It is like genuinely has to go to the smallest size on him. So he's going to get to wear it for a while. He's really, he loves the belt.
You get to grow up with the belt, I suppose. I was going to get you a full-sized adult belt, but that was $70 with a custom design. And the full-grown adult one was like $350. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? For the bit, I will do it, but not $350.
Right. Yeah, it was that, because originally, so last year when we kicked this off, you were like, I'm going to get prizes for everybody on the winning team. And then the teams ended up being like 100 people per team or something. Like, wild.
I think at the end it was like 60 per team, and then I think I talked about it in the Discord. Like, I've been doing the math because Die Hard Dice reached out like, oh, we'll help. We'll give you like not even MSRP rate, like the rate that we give suppliers. And I was like, okay, great. It's still like $5, which doesn't sound crazy until you multiply 5 by 60.
Right.
And then shipping I would have had to pay for, because they would have sent me a box, and then I would have individually had to ship to everybody. So I was like, I kind of just sent a message being like, yo, I'm just going to put a little extra in the pot of the charity drive. I don't know if I should spend $400 on this.
Yeah, it would be, it seems absurd to be like, instead of giving $400 to Doctors Without Borders, I sent everyone who raised money an individual D20 that they promptly lost.
Exactly. I do feel bad about it, because I did make that promise early on when it was like 20 people a team. I was like, that's very doable. Like, I could definitely do that. It very quickly, because I think like when we first started it last year, I remember messaging you couple days after Christmas. Like, hey, did you want to do this? Like, with you, me, we'll grab like 3 other people. We'll give it a go. We'll see how much money we can raise. And then I think I posted something on Friends Only, being like, hey, thinking that like I would legitimately get, because I post Friends Only stuff not too often, and when I do, like, I get like 2 comments. So like thinking that like 4 people might jump in. Ended up getting like 50 people being like, yeah, we're down. And it just kept on snowballing and became, by the end, completely untenable for me to both do that and have a job at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember your original idea when you came to me was, what if you and I got into like a TikTok beef for all of January where we just posted videos back and forth yelling at each other, and then whatever money that makes at the end of the month, we give it to Doctors Without Borders. And I was like, great, this is exactly what I'll 100% in. It's very much my vibe.
I kind of got the idea because you had done a series of videos where it was kind of like rage baity videos. And you also had a, what was it, like Giving Mondays or something like that? I think you probably still do them, but
yeah, it was the Every Money charity series.
Yes.
Where it was usually like once a month. I would make like I would scream about like how to pronounce Reese's Pieces, and then because it's so frustrating, but because rage bait works so well, it would always like generate not always, a lot of times it would generate a bunch of money, and then I was like. And then I would give it to charity. The idea of the rage bait, I should say, the rage bait videos are intended for charity. I don't make them just because,
just for the fun of it. Yeah, I got that idea too. So I did a couple of videos where I would like, hey, I would donate the proceeds of this, and then right around that time, of course, everything bad happened in the Palestine area of the world. So it was just kind of like a natural progression of it. And I think you did have. From your video, you had a video during the fundraiser that I think went huge. It was, I think, a relationship based one.
I know
was
exactly
it the one where
it was.
You clean dishes?
Yeah,
you
my
clean
wife,
the dishes for your wife.
My wife had gotten, I don't know if she'd gotten COVID or just had gotten sick, but I started the video and I was like, hey, ladies, you should be divorcing your husbands. And a bunch of people very correctly pointed out the video should have been targeted to husbands. And I was like, fair, but I was trying to make money, not like actually make a point.
It succeeded. I think it did very well. It got the point across and raised a lot of money for charity. So
it hit at the perfect time because it was that really gross video had just gone super viral where a woman had gotten sick and there was mold in her sink because her husband didn't do anything. And so I was like, well, my wife is sick. And I just made my son dinner and my wife dinner because it's not actually hard. I was like, I'm going to make a video about this. I was like, I bet it'll do well. And it went crazy. Yeah, the other thing, I had one other idea that month, and I didn't do it for probably pretty obvious reasons, was South Africa had said that Israel was an apartheid state, and I was going to put up a map of Africa with the wrong country highlighted and say, even South Africa thinks this, with the intent that obviously everyone would get in the comments to be like, that's not South Africa. And I was like, this will get stitched out of context and it will ruin me. Even if I have a video before I post that video, or like, hey, I'm about to post a video where I show you the wrong country, it still will be bad for me. I was like, I don't think the trade-off for the $10,000 I will raise from that video will be worth it.
You'll see that in a job interview like 5 years from now, being like, so you think this is South? This is the North. I'm sorry. You want to be? You want to work here?
Yeah. You think Congo is South Africa? You think Madagascar? That would be the funniast one, I think.
Australia is South Africa. Yeah. Geographically incorrect.
I had that one. I have another one that I've been sitting on for the last year, where I make a really bad grilled cheese sandwich. Like very intentionally bad, like I do everything wrong, and because I know how mad it would make people, and I was just like, at some point I will probably do it, like just like the wrong, like the not serrated knife to like cut a loaf of like French bread, so it just crushes it, like huge blocks of cheese in it so they don't melt.
That reminds me, during COVID, this was like one of those things, like early TikTok COVID days. there was, I believe, a senator, cannot remember the name of the senator, was like, this is how I make a tuna fish sandwich. Opened up a can of tuna, did not drain all of the liquid out. It's like, that's where the flavor is. Put it on a piece of white bread, then squirted some mayonnaise on it, and then I think put some cheddar cheese, another piece of bread, put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds. It came out, ate it, and was like, yeah, this is my perfect recipe. And I remember Kamala Harris made a stitch to that. It's like, don't you ever, we've gone too far. Don't you ever do this again. I'm going to show you how to cook when we can actually not socially distance.
That's so
that
funny.
Reminds me of that. I think that video had so many views and so many comments.
Yeah. Oh no, I would be torn to shreds in the comments, but it would be that one would be worth it, because at least that one you'd be like, they'd just be like, look at this moron that can't make a grilled cheese, and not look at this racist.
Yeah, you're playing with fire on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I last year was super fun. I've got the belt here. So it was $4,256 on, because I was on the losing team, but I did raise the most money. And I'm going to hit refresh on my page, because as of right now, Saturday night, the
almost
4th
double
when
that
we're recording
now.
this. Yeah, I really wanted it to be double when we recorded, and I'm like $50 shy. I'm at $8,480. Because I'm playing. Speaking of playing with fire, oh boy, did I put together a table that is terrifying.
I'm very excited. In the video that I talked about wanting to beat you, I was like, I'm very excited to see Abria just rip you to shreds at the table. It's going to be great. There is part of me that just wants everybody to play it straight and just like, have a good time. But also, if it becomes like pick on Jordan time, I think that will. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You got to pay for this hubris. You've gotten too, like Icarus, flying too close to the sun.
Yeah, you and there are like 2 or 3 videos other than yours, I believe, that have literally tagged me in them to be like, donate to charity to beat Jordan.
Jordan.
But yeah, I have jumped out to such a demonstrable lead. I don't know how anyone can catch me.
Realistically, Diana has a chance. Diana evidently has been floating plans to her Discord, and they seem to be down to clown. Mm-hmm. And Diana did steal the lead midway through last time. There was a bunch of really just amazing donations on a single stream that she ran.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I think someone dropped like $2,000 on like in just like a one-time donation to her, and just like, there you go, I got it.
You can win. And then Jack Panic Table. Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he's affiliated with the Panic Table. I don't know if he's actually on the stream, but they mentioned that to one of his professional GM games, and one of the players like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sent them $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild. And then obviously I made a future lesson for everyone. And I said, hey, give me $100 and you can sit down with me for an hour-long interview. Thinking like 5 people would buy it.
I bought one.
Yeah, and we are fulfilling it almost an entire year later. And the number of people that I didn't follow through on is astronomical. If you're watching this, I'm very sorry. It was too many people, as it turns out. I tried for a while.
I use you as an example as to, you can always increase the number. You can start at 2, you can go to 4. Even at infinite, there was a time there near the middle where I was like, are you really sure you don't want to put a cap on this? We can count how many have happened. We can put like 2 more on and we can cap it. And you're like, no, I've set this to myself. I am going like in a very, very, I don't know. Was it sadomasochism where you want to punish yourself? Mm-hmm. In a little bit of that kind of fashion, because I could just see the blocks, the time just dwindle from your coming months throughout the year.
Yeah, there were several. Like I tried for like several weeks to just like, especially because like we had like a vacation day. I don't know what holiday it would have been, maybe MLK. I don't know. It was something where I was like, I have the whole day off, and I did like 5 hours of interviews, and like it made no dent in it because it was catastrophically bad.
And it was one of those things too, because a lot of people put like, "Oh, be a guest on a podcast. We'll have you on the podcast." It seemed safe, but I don't know. At some point, I don't know if it was through the Dimension 20 scene or the Dropout scene or what, but it just took off. You were getting like 5 a day.
It doesn't make any sense to me, because it's not like these interviews like blow up every time I post one, and like, you know, like people, like, it's not like this is like a career maker kind of thing. Like it's like there are interviews that are well under 1,000 views on my YouTube. Like it's not like a thing where people are like, no, I watch every Jordan interview that comes out. Like even my biggest one is Izzy, and I think it's at under 50K. Like it's not like, and it's by far the biggest one. It's not like it's a guaranteed hit. So I never have figured out why people were buying them. I
think it was like right place, right time. I think also you have the right niche, and you have the right place inside that niche.
Yeah.
Where people got really excited, because I think Critical Role kind of has that similar vibe, but I think Dimension 20 and just Dropout in general has this kind of like family vibe where people really love to explain like how they got there and how they found it and how much they love it. So I think it's like it was the perfect storm of many different factors. You promoting it very well. Maybe you should have promoted it crappier in a crappier fashion. You promoted it really well. I think generally, I think in your niche specifically, I think you have this personality that you've built up, which is a very genuine personality. But I think the idea that you can like communicate with a person that you've seen on TikTok a bunch of different times, and it helps facilitate your love of this content was very powerful, like pull for people, and also perfect time for that charity too. Like Palestine, Gaza, there was no medical aid. Doctors Without Borders is still the only like organization providing like actual real feasible medical aid in the area. And it was like a very hot topic issue at the time. Unfortunately waned some at this point.
Right.
But I think just perfect,
incredibly needed, but the
incredibly needed. Yeah.
Engagement has waned, certainly. Yeah. It was very strange. And I think like also, I mean, I having thought about it, I think there are also a lot of people who love Dropout and don't have anyone to talk to about it.
Yes.
And they see me as a face of like such tangential Dropout because I've talked to so many people that they're like, but Jordan, if I talk to him about it, it's like talking to the Dropout people. People tag me in videos all the time of like, someone get this to Dropout, and I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna, and I probably couldn't if I wanted to. Someone recently asked me. You're going to Madison Square Garden for the D20 show, and like I will be there as well. And someone recently was like, "Hey, I
bought a ticket from you actually."
But yeah, someone was like, "Hey, I bought a VIP ticket. Who do I ask what that means?" And I was like, I have so many people's email addresses at Dropout. I don't know who I would ask. Like, I don't know who would know.
This sounds like a job for Sammy Wright.
Yes. Like. It's why, like, and I was just like, I genuinely don't know. First of all, I don't think it means anything, because I think it was a holdover from the UK and Ireland tours where they actually had VIP stuff, and I think they just left that on and then didn't plan for it.
From what I saw, it seemed like there was VIP seating. Like it was a seat that had a a guaranteed non-obstructed view, like central. I think that was the only VIP about it.
Yeah. But I'm super excited for the show. I can't wait.
Me too.
We're a couple of weeks out. I think it's going to be super fun. I have the most plans I think I've ever had that week while I'm in New York.
I have zero plans. I have not done any.
Because I'm doing like one of the bigger shows, and I'm doing Dropout live, and then I'm doing like
all that.
I'm doing
there's a bigger show. I didn't learn about any of those things, so I haven't even. I'm sure they're all sold out, and I've completely spaced on getting anything.
The thing is, well, they probably are all sold out, but also for sure, like right now is the perfect time for people who are going to start posting like, "Hey, I bought a ticket to the bigger show and I can't go," because that's what That's what I see that all the time. Also, because people will be like, "I bought a ticket to Madison Square Garden. I can't go. How can I sell it?" I'm like, I don't know. I post on Reddit. That's what I would do. Like,
here is your opportunity to be, I guess, very much like Ticketmaster itself, a middleman. You can just be skimming off the top.
Yeah, be like, I'll buy it to you for cost, and then I sell it for like twice the price.
Exactly. It's called capitalism. And as we know, every Dropout Dimension 20 fan loves capitalism.
Huge fans of Ticketmaster and everything they do. It's, oh boy. But yeah, it's I am just chock-a-block with plans that week. And then, like, everyone I ever have known from the internet is in town and wants to hang out. And I'm like, I don't know when. I hope I see you at the show, because if not, I don't know when I could possibly find time.
I don't know. And also, I love New York, and I like doing stuff in New York. So the idea, so it is very tempting to me to just be like, I'm just going to be a tourist that weekend. I have friends in New York that I haven't seen in a while. Go visit them. Then do the show, and then go back to being a normal. Like, I'm going to have a bagel, some pizza, all the things I love. Have a spaghetti at like 1 a.m. while somebody is bringing their baby into the bar. Like, that is like manna from heaven to me. That's why I go to New York.
Yeah. My wife and I have a couple of plans for like very expensive dinners. And I was like, we're going to do just like a couple of really expensive dinners and then like dollar slices. Like, it's going to be like, it's the polar opposites of New York that I love so much, where it's like, it's $150 a person and also $1.50 for the slice, like a literal 100 times in price difference.
There is a restaurant. You probably already solidified your plans, but there is. I don't even know if it exists anymore. But the last time I went to New York, there was a place called Chinese Tuxedo, and it's like very good Chinese food. Some of the best I've had, and I don't know if it's got. It definitely doesn't have like a star or anything like that. Yeah, but super good. Also extremely expensive, but very much worth it.
Yeah.
And then we had like $4 whiskey shooters at a bar right across the street beforehand to pregame. So.
Yeah, perfect. Oh man, that's so exciting. Hey, speaking of shots, oh, what a transition. Next Saturday, January 11th, I'm doing the sauce stream again, from taking shots of condiments to raise money for charity. That one also, that was one of the other ones last year that really, like, it didn't occur to me that people would buy the interviews during the sauce stream to watch me take shots. I thought they would just give me money, and then that would like, but then people were like, well, I donated $100 for an interview, take a shot. I'm like, oh no, I didn't consider that you would do that part of it, but I'm obviously going to. I did bring yet another prop, which is my Grinch head hot sauce.
What's hot sauce?
It is hot sauce. That green chili hot sauce that I bought from Kohl's, the weirdest place to buy hot sauce.
No, they have hot sauce.
Yeah, it took me a very long time to find it. I knew they had it, and it took me, like, I knew they had it.
Searched it out.
Yeah. And I had to, like, I was in the store, like, looking at my phone. I was like, okay, it says it's in this section. And then I just, like, went to where I thought that section would be. And I was like, it's not here. Because they have, like a food section, barely. And, it wasn't there. Anyway, I don't even, it doesn't matter. But this, for the bit, this is the Nat 1 on the 20 table of sauces. Because it is, I believe it does have vinegar in it.
I thought you were saying an expiration date. That
just
no. I was like, oh, bold.
No, ingredients number 1 is vinegar. And you were part of the sauce stream last year. I don't think you were on yet, but I took a shot of Tabasco, and Tabasco's number 1 ingredient, also vinegar, and that nearly ended the stream.
Okay, I think you did mention it as as I was coming on, you were in recovery mode at that point. You needed a cooling shot. I think you picked some kind of barbecue sauce. It was that was a mistake.
But yeah, so this year it's 20 different condiments rather than like the giant wheel. So like a D20 roll, and I'm gonna make the announcement here. The first time anyone is learning of it, I will not be rolling the D20s. I have asked some famous friends to send me videos of them rolling D20s, and so I haven't watched any of them yet, but there are some really fantastic people who have sent in videos. So every $200 that we hit during the Sauce stream, you'll get to see a new video of somebody rolling a D20 and potentially ruining my day.
Give us a taste. Who's the least famous person you have rolling a D20?
Least famous? Oh boy. I don't want to say least famous. I mean, I guess technically, I mean, I don't have them. Why are these not loading? Well, that doesn't seem great. We'll figure that out. I think outside, like, who will be the first, and I think is technically the least famous, but is probably actually the outside of anyway. Roll for Sandwich. Jake from Roll for Sandwich is going to be like the kickoff one. It genuinely is probably the most famous of any of them because of just how huge he is.
Millions of followers.
Yes. But like that was the one. He was the one that I reached out to, and I was like, "I have to have you. You have to do this. Like you're the person that has to do this." But yeah, it's going to be super fun. I will say I'll tease one other one because I loaded each video. Like open them to make sure that they played on the computer because 90% of them needed to be converted to some other format because of course. But I do have a Vic Michaelis one. And as I said, I haven't watched it because I don't know what anyone rolls. That is a promise. I don't know what anyone has rolled, but Vic Michaelis doesn't own a D20, and I knew that going in. And so I had said in my email to them, I was like, if you just want to roll, if you just want to use like a like random D20 on your phone, that's fine. And they did have a D100, and they hold that up at the beginning of the video. Now, I haven't watched the video, so I don't know how it ends, but there's no way it ends coherently because you can't convert a D100 to a D20.
I'm just going to roll that D100 until you get under 20. And that's
I guess
the number,
so.
baby.
Yeah. I'm so excited. The video, I think it's like 53 seconds long. Like all the other ones are like 15 seconds max. And I'm like, oh yeah, this has got to be 45 seconds of them trying to figure out how to make a D100 become a D20. And I can't wait to see what absolute madness that is. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. That's next Saturday. You might join again, depending on if you're busy.
I'll be traveling. My wife is getting promoted, so we have to fly back to San Antonio. The promotion ceremony is not until Sunday, but I don't know if we're going to be doing anything. I might just be in a hotel room like this, waiting for this to happen. So I might be able to jump in. I'll bring my laptop just so I can like jump in a bit, and we can enjoy the wonders of hotel Wi-Fi and see how well that works for streaming.
Always goes so well. Let's see. Do I have where? I had it somewhere. I was about to say like I have my sauces listed somewhere, and then I immediately there it is. I do have the list. Oh no, this is literally last year's list. I was like, that's weird. That has things on there that I definitely didn't put on. I have no idea where the list is, but it's definitely in emails. I wrote it in the list called things. That's helpful. Anyway, one is the Grinch hot sauce, then a bunch of hot sauces. Get into like some caper juice, Italian dressing, some spicy ketchup, yellow mustard, Dijon mustard, some mayos, and then we get into like some decent, like 15 is pickle juice, Greek yogurt, ricotta cheese, honey, chocolate syrup, maple syrup. So like the upper end, we're hitting stuff that's going to be delicious, as it should be. You roll me a natural 20, I'm drinking maple syrup. It's the best thing in the world. But yeah, it's going to be so silly and so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very interested to see how much money you're able to raise.
Yeah.
So it's been, you did have a bit of an earlier start.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly the day that you started. It was
12th, somewhere around there, of December. Yeah.
So you've had a little bit of a head start, but still an impressive run so far. And we have made jokes in the Discord about, maybe next year we just let Jordan do it and call it a break.
I have some ideas for next year's game, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I don't know if I've said on. I think I'm sure everyone knows, but yeah, obviously I meant it's Haley Whipjack, Bria Iyengar, Christina Ariel, Danielle Radford, Brendan Lee Mulligan, and then recently added Taylor Moore, because Ify Wadiwe is off Broadway, doing 20-Sided Tavern. So like the best possible reason to be like, hey, I can't.
Yeah, true. It was funny. So I follow Ify on Instagram. So I saw that announcement, and then I saw yours like right afterwards. Like, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, that is, thank you, Instagram. That is the perfect story note for this,
Yes.
like 1-2 beat.
Yeah. Yeah, it was super fun putting that table together. Silly intimidating. As also like playing in the Worlds Beyond Number, Wizard Rich and Wild One world of Umora with Brennan and Abria is just like, it's I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So I do need to ask you. So, are you planning on doing something like? Are you intending seriousness to a certain
Yes.
degree? Like
Yes.
you're going to hold straight to the story. There's no, I mean, so you're not going to like intentionally mess it up to mess with them at all.
No,
Like, I'm talking about the world of Amora and everything,
yeah,
not necessarily the game itself. But
when I started pitching this, folks who have listened to Wizard Witch and the Wild One, because there are two of the interludes that they did was 12 Brooks and The Clearing, and sort of that I think that is the range of human experience, because 12 Brooks is this like charming little fun like cozy story, and The Clearing is the most haunting story I've ever heard in my life. And so when I was telling people, I was like, much closer to The Clearing than 12 Brooks. I was like, I want it to get nasty. And so far, people are making real gross characters, and I can't wait.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad that everybody's taking it seriously, and I'm very excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I've it blocked off on my calendar. I'm going to be watching and seeing what wild things happen. And I know you have some stuff rewards now for like building the characters.
Yes.
Is there going to be a different set of things for in-game to mess with them?
Yeah, so a day of, people will be able to cause wild magic surges, spawn random monsters, and like bless the party for a turn, I think, around. So
can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
$1,000. Kill that donkey.
Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation.
$1,000, get to kill that donkey.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the rewards, I don't know, I think there's still one left as of recording this, was like name an NPC. Because I was like, I bet people would really dig just like conceptually naming someone in Brennan's world, even though it's technically like Brennan said it's canon, but Brennan also said it's Marvel 616 style canon of just like a branching universe.
That was my next question. I was going to ask if it's canon, and that just gives you a wide berth to just put your hand in it.
Yeah,
well, make a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
put Jordan Brown somewhere in the mix.
Yes, yeah. That's what when I talked to Brie, I was like, if I can just make it cool enough, Brennan will be like, no, that is canon. That was fun. But like, I just have to set it in a different time period, obviously, than the current storyline. So I can't be like, and then the Citadel explodes, and people are like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, someone literally was like, and one of the comments was like, are you going to speed run the destruction of the Citadel? And I was like, do you think I'm going to take away the story they're doing right now and try to like steal it from Brennan? Like, what are you talking about?
We all know you're a famous troll, and that is something you would love. And
mess with Brennan Lee Mulligan.
That reminds me, I used to watch, it was like Dungeons and Drunks. There was like one of the first 5e podcasts back when it was 4e. And to like do fundraising, they had something where somebody could like buy in and then change one thing about the story and get to play with them. And this one guy came in, and his thing that he wanted to change is he wanted to kill one of the characters. And I remember that episode with such disdain. So I'm like, it is a powerful choice to be like, hey, I love this podcast. I'm going to kill this person's character.
Oh boy. That is
It was a rough episode.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I don't have anything that's an insta kill, thankfully. Because a lot of this is just stolen straight from Unprepared Casters, their charity stream, including several of the behind the scenes people. I took them as well, and they're managing everything for me.
Honestly, such a good move.
Yeah.
Better than trying to like cobble together something.
Yeah. But yeah, so like because they have like spawn random monster, wild magic surge, and they also do pulled from the deck of many things. When I started talking about this to them, they're like, "Ooh, get ready," because people love to mess with Brennan. It's like their favorite thing. And I was like, "Got it." But yeah, I withdrew the deck of many things from potential use because I was like I can't have a 3-hour game start with someone drawing the void.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
It's a toughie. It's
Yeah.
fun. When it's fun, it's fun. But when it's like,
Yes.
oh, you're the Don John. Oh, well, I guess goodbye, Abria. Your
Yeah.
character, if you don't mind logging off now.
Yeah.
There was I did was it the role play relay? We did the first game for them. I had such a roller coaster of emotions with that. We had the deck of many things, and also people could donate to give us an artifact weapon and destroy any magical items we had. I got in a 5-minute span. I was forced to pull a card. I pulled the one ruin or whatever, so all of my magical items and all of my earthly possessions disappeared, which was rough. And then immediately after that, I got gain legendary item, and I got like the staff of the Magi. And before I could even use, literally got it, and then somebody destroyed it before I could do anything with it. I just remember just sitting there being like, "Cool, great, awesome, yep." I'm glad. I think it was $400 of money donated. So like, it's fine. Like, part of me is like really happy about it, but like the gamer part of me is like, I want my staff to Magi.
Yeah, I sort of feel that way because like I think it's $300 to spawn a random monster, and so I was like, I mean, it's super cool if people spawn a random monster, but I do have ideas that I would like to, like, some story beats I would like to hit. If they're just fighting like a Tyrannosaurus Rex for an hour, it would be fun, but
you gotta be ready. I mean,
Abria's going to probably be a level 20 wizard. I'm not super worried about any monster that I throw at them that she will not instantly snuff out of existence.
True. Yeah, I guess it depends. Do you have, like, because I don't know what because I've never played in a game that you've run before. Are you more of kind of like the improv GM style, or do you have like a relatively planned story? I know for like a one shot, especially one of these, it has to be relatively planned. But do you have like story beats you are trying to hit?
I do have story beats I'm going to try to hit, but they are very. I will say I don't have a lot prepped yet. It's a lot of just like, all right, I have a vague idea of some things, and I'm gonna figure out the rest. Like I actually DM'd a game today for the first time in probably 8 months, which was a really great practice to get back into doing a little DMing.
Warm that muscle up.
Yeah. And it was super fun because it's a game. It's the same people that I played. I played a 7-year campaign, a 1 to 20 campaign, and now we're in like campaign 2 and playing Pathfinder. And it's fine. Pathfinder's so crunchy. I don't think I need it.
2E or 1E?
2E.
Okay, yeah. Just ever so slightly less crunchy, but also somehow more in different ways.
I'm always just like, I understand that you told me what like a good DC, I don't think that's even the language that they use, would be, but I don't understand it. So I'm just basically doing 5e rules of like, yeah, you rolled a 15, that's pretty good.
Vibes based, yeah.
But yeah, it like the game literally today, like I have my notebook somewhere near me. Like I literally didn't have a plan going in. Like they had found this like magic book, and I knew like details of the magic book. But then I was like, I don't know how this session ends. And so like as we're going, I was like, what if? And like my brain just like and then I was like, what if the guy that you went on your first mission with wants to do another mission to the Feywild because one of the players is from the Feywild? And I'm like, they'd be into that. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then as I was like, oh, but I need something to like, and that's where we'll end our session because who doesn't love a good? And that's where, and so I was like, all right. And I was like, he wants to go see the queen of the summer court. And I was like, why would he want to go? And first I was like, because this guy has visions of the future and they're usually very wrong. And the big deal was that he got one right. And so now they have to like,
kind of take him seriously.
Yes. And so, so I was like, I don't know why. I was like, because he's got to save her life. And I was like, oh, you know, it'd be funnier if he's like, because we're gonna kill her. And then I was like, and so I was like, and I was like, and that's what happened. And I was like, I don't have any idea why. There is like, he wasn't gonna be back in the story. I was gonna kill him in the first session originally, but my players were too nice to him. So he was literally like, he's like an 80-year-old kobold, so like he's like should be dead. Just like by old age. And so I was like, he's just gonna die in his sleep on the ship. And then my players were like, we get him tea and we make sure he has like dinner. And I was like, well, I can't kill him now. Like they did everything to like make sure that he's okay. But yeah, that is, I have become the like full improv GM over like the 8 or 9 years that I've been playing now. But for a one shot, I like to keep things way tighter than that because I don't want it to be like, you know, we're 2 hours in and we're at the port still, and just like nothing's happened. Yeah, be like, I had a pirate ship that you were supposed to find.
There was another charity one shot I did this time with Haley Whipjack.
Mm-hmm.
I think we 45 minutes in hadn't walked in the door of this haunted mansion. We were too busy just yoking it up with a priest that was outside.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. So for the stream though, how intense are you going? Is there going to be music? Is there going to be visuals?
I have an artist doing character art. That is all mostly approved except for Brennan, because he's too busy to like get him to look at anything. But everyone else has at least like had a chance to look over stuff and be like this and this. So those are like really close to being done. I've potentially have music. Here's the problem. I don't know what I can actually do because I can't run a stream to save my life.
True.
So
yeah.
It becomes a question of me asking like Amelia from Unprepared Casters to be like, what can you do though?
What are you able? What music do you think we should play?
I've mentioned the character art and they were like, that's fine. We can do that. Not a problem. We'll have like a box that has like charity information that we can like flip out and put like, here's the character art for someone up instead for like a second or whatever. And I haven't mentioned music to them yet. I should probably see if music is a thing that we can play. But yeah, it's maybe happening.
I guess, yeah, because now thinking about it, I was like worried that you'd be like also like trying to focus in on everything and having to run music and do streams. But yeah, you have a team behind you, so that's gonna make it considerably less stressful.
Yeah, I think my plan probably is to do music at like have like a pre-roll, you know, like stream is starting soon and have music there, and then probably no music during the stream, just so that like I'm not asking Amelia to like pay attention to literal like emotional beats and be like, we're in combat, Amelia, change the music. That seems like too much to ask of someone who is volunteering their time to run everything. But yeah, and then like maybe if like I'm hoping to hit an epilogue, and if I can do that, then like maybe music there as well. But yeah.
I gotta ask the question: are you gonna be like, so what are we playing next as the stream cuts down?
Yeah, obviously. Someone literally said like, is this gonna be like a weekly thing? I was like, you think these people aren't busy enough to be like, hey, you guys want to play every Saturday? Next Saturday you'll be in New York having just played Madison Square Garden, but do you want to like hop on a stream with me? Do
you mind if I hop up on stage and we just do the stream? We just run a quick,
like as everyone's like filtering out, we just like record a quick 3-hour session.
Just a little quickie 3-hour, Madison Square Garden stream.
Yeah, no problem. No, there are no plans to try and get. The plan is be good enough that next year when I ask some of them, they say yes again.
I do want to know how difficult, because like you obviously have connections with a lot of people. You've interviewed many of these people before. Was it difficult to wrangle them schedule-wise? I mean, obviously a little bit, because if you had to take another, like the the 20-sided Tavern had to pop in. So I can only imagine that could have happened multiple times at this point.
Yeah, it really wasn't bad. Literally, it was, I narrowed it down to either the 11th or the 18th, because obviously, like I said, the 25th was out, and today's the 4th, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to have people, like, 3 days after New Year's be like, hop on a stream. Like,
tough ask.
yeah, and so I was like, it'll be the 11th or the 18th, or basically the only Saturdays. And so Brennan was literally just like, yeah, I can do the 18th. And I was like, great. And so then everyone else, I was like, you have to do the 18th. That's your option.
Yeah. Here's my line in the sand. If
Yes.
it works, it works.
Yeah.
I've got probably, I would imagine, maybe one of the busiest out of all of them to agree. So
yeah.
please.
Yeah. Brennan and Abria, certainly I would imagine the busiest. Brennan probably the busiest, because, I mean, he's shooting every Dimension 20 season, basically, and then also Worlds Beyond Number, and also Game Changer, and who knows what else they're doing.
One of the little secret projects they got brewing up, like Gastronauts being a guest on that.
But so that was, and then, like, I mean, I've mentioned this elsewhere, but like I asked Erika Ishii, and they were the only person that was like, I can't, I'm busy. Bria was a tentative yes while she figured out her schedule, and then I had to send her like 5 text messages to be like, okay, but when is it yes yet? Because she's not great at responding to things. It's funny, in my interview with her a couple of weeks ago, I just saw this clip because I was editing something out, and she's like, I responded to one of your emails this week. I was like, yeah, you didn't do what you said you were going to do in the email. But you did reply to it. She's like, yeah. She's like, I said, I'll do this in the morning, and then I didn't. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Creatives.
Yes.
Email. What is email?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a way to tie down a creative. We don't need that.
But yeah, I'm so excited about this game. I think it's gonna be super fun. But yeah, it's gonna be I think probably because I don't know exactly how many times people are gonna be like random monster, and because obviously like Wild Magic Surge will just be like a funny little blip in whatever's happening. But random monster might take a little bit of time. That it becomes like, all right, I'm gonna prep a whole bunch of things, and then have like maybe major story beats that I want to try and hit, and then like filter out things that I either need or don't need based on how long things have been going.
To help with that, is it going to be through Tiltify that you're doing the rewards? Yeah. I could even do it because I'm going to be watching anyway. You could do quantities for each one, and if it gets out of hand, you could just like send me or whoever a message being like, turn off the monster.
Yeah.
And we could just turn off the reward.
We may have to do that. Yeah. I will have that. That definitely is a possibility. Just like in the middle of the stream, be like, Ryan, turn it off. There are 8 T-Rexes attacking them.
I can't do another brass dragon.
Yes. Yeah.
We haven't even left town yet.
No, I will say we are dropping in media res. I'm not messing with you're in a tavern. Like we're dropping in like you're on day 3 of an adventure.
Like no flirting with the barmaid.
Yes.
No ordering drinks. Let's just get raised.
Yeah, we're going straight to it because I cannot have you like not be doing like I cannot have time. I cannot be wasting time somewhere else.
I have a question. So hypothetical, very not likely. Say, do the stream. Say you're sitting pretty, $12,000, $14,000, $10,000. How much you get? Somebody, you're resting on. You're resting after your good works. Somebody clocks up above you. Yeah. Are you coming back in? Because you said you were going to do the one and done. But or are you going to stay behind and just kind of...
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know what I could possibly follow up with, especially before the end of the month, especially because the following week I'm out of town the entire week.
There's going to be a definite lull in our activity, both in probably intake of donations and activity on the admin side. Because I think almost all of us are going to New York for that. I'm so happy. I moved to the East Coast. I can just take a train now. It's so easy. Yeah. I was in San Antonio before. Getting to New York was going to be such an awful pain in the butt and take all day. It's going to be like a 2.5 hour train ride. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. No, I'm flying out of Austin. It's going to be an all day expenditure. I'm really excited. I think I am gonna play in that game. I don't think we mentioned the other team names. Did we mention them? I don't know. I wrote them down. XP Men, Just
XP
Dice
Men.
League, Tabletop Titans, and Fantastic D4. I believe are the four teams, and then Doctor
And
Doom.
you
Yeah,
got to come up with a non-branded entity, Doctor Dice.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think last year I played a couple games last year. The only one right now that's on my schedule, I guess there is technically two on my schedule because we're toying with the idea of a bunch of people beat me up at the end of the month.
I'm very excited by that idea. I think it would be hilarious.
It is very funny. But yeah, I think I am going to do in Nat 20 as Nat 20 wife. I don't remember what her handle is. That's definitely what it is. My brain is always like, what does she go by on the internet? But yeah, Don Marshall's wife, Nat 20 wife, ran one of the most fun games I've ever played in last year, where we did like race car nonsense.
It's like a Mad Max thing.
Yeah, it was like Mad Max. My team went full troll Don Marshall and made like Lord of the Rings parody characters. I was Gandalf the Grape. And then every turn I had another wrong, obscure Lord of the Rings facts to share.
And it was sweat pour off of Tom's brow as this pained by it.
It was always just like so close to being right, which is the most fun thing. So like the one I remember, like that, I was like, Viggo Mortensen wasn't originally cast as Aragorn. It was Eric Stoltz, which is doubly funny because Viggo Mortensen wasn't originally cast, but Eric Stoltz was the original Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Yeah, so like it's such a specifically weird joke, but just to like watch him be like, yes, that is. Oh no, it's not right.
Which is hurting his brain. That's amazing.
But yeah, we're doing it again this year, except it's going to be in space. In a similar vein as the other game, it might be me versus everyone else, which is very fun.
Stands alone, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. That was such a fun game last year, and it went so long and was so great. Like, not a complaint, but it was like, we're going to play for 2 hours. I think we played for like 6, and everyone was just like, yeah, let's keep going. This is great. I can't get enough of this.
There is an occasional, Talking XP Johnny, he has Candela Obscura game that we run. It's called the Order of the Ouroboros or something. I'm in that, and I'm used to like a 2.5 hour, maybe 3 hour stream. We log in on like 6 o'clock on a Thursday, and everybody's like, "Hey, are we okay going to midnight?" And I was like, "What?" It's like, well, and I think it was 5.5 hours, and then we had like a 30-minute like decompress afterwards where we could talk things out, and I was like, either I'm getting too old or this, I don't know if I can. Thank God it's like once every 3 months, because I could not do this every week, 6 hours in front of a camera.
Oh, gosh, no, I would die. I was in Dying of Exposure, ran a game, a Pathfinder game that I got to play in for a little while that we did on a stream, and it was like every Monday I was like, I'm so excited to play, and I so desperately hope it gets canceled because I'm so tired and I just don't want to do anything. And it was so much. Every time I was like, as soon as we were in it, I was like, this is great. And then it would be like 2.5 hours, and at the end of it, I was like, I'm so tired. Please tell me we're done. I have to go to bed right now.
In a similar vein, friends of mine run a stream called Beards and Barbarians. It's Friday night at like 7:30 to like 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
Prime time. Like when I explained this to my wife, she's like, "Oh, so we're just not going to have like a Friday date night ever again?" And I was like, "No, it's only for like 4 weeks." 6 weeks later, as my like role in this like short form thing has expanded, and now I'm like one of the main characters. Like, yo, I need like I just could feel the hot gaze of my wife, be like, "Oh, no Friday date nights anymore, eh?" I had to like actually go up to him like, I need an out. My wife, like I signed up for 4 weeks, we're on week 8 now, and if I don't take my wife out on a Friday night, not Saturday night, will not do Friday night date, I might lose my marriage.
It's so funny. Why did I recommend you get divorced so recently? What did your wife do that was so bonkers?
She likes Beverly.
That's right. That's what it is.
Club
I stand by it.
Epcot.
Yes.
She is so into gin. She's got like, I guess, granny taste. She loves a herbaceous gin. And Beverly is like gin minus any of the fun. It's just like the weird like punch in the mouth of like a bunch of it tastes like tea, like you're just chewing on tea. An herbal tea at that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's so bad. Yeah.
I had to pry her out of there. She was mixing it with, she was basically making suicides or whatever they're called, like when you mix all the flavors together, but it was mostly Beverly and she had like a little bit of something else.
Oh, it's so funny. It's such a horrible flavor. So horrible. It's so funny because I don't know anyone who likes it. I know everyone who goes is like, and you have to try Beverly because it is the worst thing you'll ever drink.
It's the low end. It's the low end. It sets you up for everything else.
Yeah.
Somebody did think it's like it's an aperitif or whatever. It's like supposed to be a palate cleanser. You're not supposed to actually like drink it for fun. It's supposed to kind of like clear your palate. The funny thing is, we just did. It's like Spaceship Earth or something like that. The one at Epcot that spins you around to recreate G-forces. Jasmine almost lost her cookies on that one. Very close, like vomit bag in hand, a little bit of dry heaving as we exited. And I was like, oh, we'll go to Club Cool. They have like some drinks there. That's like a nice cool down activity. And the idea of almost like from the inertia, almost vomiting and being like, ooh, Beverly.
Beverly, perfect. Yeah.
It's like, she loved it. It cured her.
Yeah. Oh, God. Just so bad.
Just amazing.
We should plug some things that you do as well. You have some of my favorite series of sketches on the internet. I love veteran player and newbie player being messed with by the GM. One of my favorites, just always the "what did the GM give you" is one of my favorite things. Of just like, hey, gave me a bag of holding that eats people.
I've had that. Some of those are based in like semi-true experiences I've had. Both as the dungeon master and as a player, I introduce people to the game all the time, and usually it's like a mix of like new and old. Mm-hmm. And if I'm running a game, I'll throw some things in there, just like, especially if it's like a one shot, just some funny stuff. It's very interesting to be like, oh, and then this giant, whatever dragon or this one-eyed thing with a bunch of tentacles come out, and all the new players like, oh my god, that's interesting, and all the veteran players like,
yeah,
we're level 3. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I had a moment like that. Actually, I had a moment like exactly like that. We were doing a Strahd game. We were level 2. And we were in like the House of Horrors like entry supplement. And my friend that I introduced to Dungeons and Dragons, first time being a dungeon master, was like, oh, and then this effectively a zombie beholder, but like way up down gun, so it was really weak. But I didn't know that. I was like, I hide behind a pillar and I'm looking for an exit. And everybody else was like, no, we gotta kill it. And I was like, oh, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, that's like in Lost Mines of Phandelver. There's a spectator, I think is what they're called, which is like the something low like end. That, yeah. It's like the fake beholder, but like because it has 6 eye stalks instead of 10 or whatever it is. Like that's how you would know. And I remember like running it for my players, and one of my players was like, "Sorry, what did you just say is in there?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a monster. It has 1 big eye and 8 tentacles or whatever, 6 tentacles." Like off it. Like, we gotta get out of here. They're like, we can't. We're level 2. We can't fight a beholder. And I was like, oh, it's a spectator. Does that make a difference?
But I love that series. I'm hopefully going to be getting back in the series. I moved recently, and it kind of destroyed all of my momentum when it came to those things. I just now have my like 2 days ago. This thing was stacked high with books. Boxes of books, because I had lost my stud finder and could not install my bookshelves into the walls. So hopefully I'll be making more of that stuff soon. I'm very excited for that stuff. I'm also probably going to start, because like everybody else, TikTok is, I guess, going to die soon. I'm probably going to start doing long form things on YouTube. So We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to make a thumbnail because I haven't. I understand like conceptually, but I have not done it yet, and I know YouTube loves them.
For my minor amount of research, you put a cop car and like you getting arrested, be like, this D&D tactic got me put in jail.
Perfect.
Just make the most outrageous clickbaity nonsense.
Yeah.
And profit, baby.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want to do. I also love Rules Lawyer, who wants to use the moon as a weapon. I don't remember what the story was. That one went a while.
I've had some good ones. I've also recently brought that back in an attempt to fight you.
That's right. Yes, I knew Rules Lawyer came back.
I did a series of a Rules Lawyer trying to make a nuke work to get revenge on an NPC in the game and also the Dungeon Master. And I promised if I could beat you in monetary donations, I will resurrect. Mr. Cheddar, who is the NPC of the Rules Lawyer's ire, I guess. I'm very excited. I need to. I am both not hoping and hoping I could bring back Mr. Cheddar, because one of the reasons I ended that series, like, I don't know where else to go. I can continue to argue with myself forever, I guess, but like at this point, like my soul, like I need to end this series. I need to put a bow on it. Need to be done.
Yeah.
But bringing it back, I think would be very funny.
It'd be super fun. And then obviously the memes, they're so good.
So many memes.
You're a meme master. I think I said that at the beginning. Underneath
Memeing
the Doom mask.
Becoming a family business. My brother has a meme account for Dungeons and Dragons now as well. My younger brother is super into Dungeons and Dragons. The Daft and Dungeoneer, I believe, on Instagram. It's becoming a family business.
Amazing. Yeah, I know people have asked you before, how on earth do you find all those wonderful clips? Like,
honestly, it's a bit of a curse. So when I first started doing this, it was just like, oh, that's an interesting little funny thing. Because I always would make I'd send memes off to friends and stuff like that, or make little memes from like funny images. The problem is, like, once you start doing it and you connect like your serotonin and like your emotional state to how well a meme does, you just start seeing memes everywhere. And there's no worse thing than like watching a movie in a theater and then like 15 minutes in being like, that would be a perfect meme. I have to remember this scene. So just like trying to concentrate on writing it down in your little notes app. You just start seeing them everywhere at a certain point. And then there was a time there where I would go on YouTube, be like, funny movie clips, 3 hours, and just be like zooming through those.
Boy.
So, yeah, it's not as glitz and glamorous as
people may think. You got to put in the work if you want that follower count.
I've actually been doing a lot less memes because memes made money before on TikTok when short videos, your videos had to be short. But now, if you want to make money on TikTok, you got to do long ones. So that's one of the reasons I started doing like more skits and stuff, because Daddy like that money and needs to pay bills because it's a necessary income stream.
Yes. Oh boy, me too. I don't know what's going to happen in 3 weeks.
Well, it's so weird. So like Trump has said that he's like, oh, I like TikTok. It helped me get elected. I'm going to save TikTok. But also I feel like Elon Musk would love TikTok not to exist anymore because he wants X, Twitter, whatever, to be the TikTok like video. There's so much more video stuff on there now.
I'm sure he would love to buy it for 10 times its worth and then drive it into the ground.
Oh my God. You know, all he's got to do is get some more Saudi princes to invest, and he's got it. It'll be very interesting to see what happens by the end of the month. There's Lemonade. I don't know if that is going to disappear as well. I also hate Lemonade.
I do too. I don't understand it.
I don't get it. I do not like it.
I can't figure out how to use it.
It's like Instagram but worse.
Yeah. I went on there to post a video, and it literally was just, I pressed the thing, I'm on TikTok, and it's like, we do pictures, and I'm like, but you're supposed to be the new TikTok. What do you mean you do pictures? And it's like, you can upload a video if you want. And I'm like, so I have to record this somewhere else and bring it to you? Okay, that's fine. And then I did, and it was like, ooh, you can't have a video over a minute long. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Man. We're just it's so bad. It's going so in reverse.
Yeah.
I have heard that like they've posted something on Lemonade or TikTok about Lemonade where it was like when the ban goes into effect, basically everything will get ported over. I don't know if that is or because like when I signed up for the account, I did not have I pressed a button. It was like, oh, here's your Lemonade account. You have the same handle. It's supposed to cross post, but it doesn't. I don't know if it's all bad.
It's bad.
YouTube, honestly, YouTube Shorts, that I found that to be better. The next best avenue, to be honest. I don't know if you've had a lot of experience with that.
I haven't, other than like also I think they're like be under a minute video, which is also a bummer because like it's not even
3 minutes now.
Is it 3 minutes? That's helpful. Okay, good. That'll make things way easier because like a lot of these like I'm pulling clips from interviews and it's hard to make those under a minute. I talk to interesting people; they have interesting things to say. So. Yeah, I just want it to not go away. What if we did that? What if we just left TikTok alone?
What if we could have a functioning government system and TikTok? That's too much. We could have neither.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Ryan, this has been absolutely delightful. I'm guessing everyone already follows you, but let's say for some reason they don't. Where can they find you? I guess on platforms that aren't TikTok.
I think almost on every platform I have some variation of either DMG_run or run_DMG. But if you type in Run DMG, I think in pretty much any of the apps I will pop up. Or you'll just find a bunch of Run DMC stuff, and you'll still be fine with that. That's good news.
Yeah, it's still fun. Yeah, it's an excellent name. It's a good handle. It's a regret I have is that my handle is just my name. Although it is, I don't know if I've ever mentioned the story of why my handle is the Jordan Brown, capital THE. It's because that was Herman Cain's handle when he was running for president, and I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever say. No, it was the Herman Cain.
Oh, the Herman Cain.
And I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, why? That's crazy. Like, he's running for president, and it's THE capitalized Herman Cain. I was like, Herman Cain. I was like, that's so funny. I'm using that forever. And then I did. And then he died of COVID, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
There was definitely somebody that was like sitting on the username Herman Cain. Yeah. And they could not buy that person out for all the money in the world.
Yeah.
When Herman Cain died, it was very funny because his family's like, we're going to keep his Twitter account alive as a living memorial and repost weird memes and weird political stuff.
So weird. It just made me love my handle all the more. Because what a weird dude. He's just the weirdest dude. He sang a Pokemon song at his like, I'm dropping out of the presidential race.
Wasn't he a pizza magnate?
He was. Yeah. He was. Oh God. I want to say it's like Hollywood Pizza. It's some weirdly named pizza. And then the joke was that his big plan was because it was like a 999 deal, like not deal, but like taxes or whatever. It's gonna be like 9% this, 9%, and everyone was like, "That's the starting rate in Sim City. That's where he got the idea from." Because he was such a joke that people were like, "That might be true." And I was like, "That's the guy I want my handle to be named after."
I want to latch my future onto this ship as quickly as possible before it sets sail.
Too funny. Wow, Run DMG. Everywhere on the internet, the best memes, the best table behind said memes. It's a great gaming table. I remember you interacting with that person not that long ago. It may have been a year ago at this point where you're like, I've used your table in so many of my videos.
I'm glad that they're okay with it. It was back. I just found it was like one of the leading images on Google search. I don't even know if it is anymore. But I just started using it because I didn't know how to, because it was used in somebody else's article and it did not have an accredited to. So I was like, oh, this is probably just like a stock image that somebody cropped out the stock stuff. And then I remember being like, hey, that's my table. I was like, is it okay that I'm using it? I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was kind of stealing from you this entire time.
Yeah, sorry, I've been putting Joe Pesci yelling at someone over your table 100 times a year for the last 3 years. And this was absolutely delightful. I can't wait to crush you in the charity contest. Doom reigns supreme.
Let's see here. I'm going to double check the Tiltify real quick, see if we've made any more money.
Mine's
still at $60 to your
$8,480. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good stuff. I love that people came in like so hot to the Discord and they're like, "We're taking Jordan down." I was like, "You guys see the lead I have on you already? You better get to work."
We're really high place here. Yeah. I think we're gonna give you a race.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be a good one, but there will be a race.
It's gonna be fun regardless. Look, I love being a villain. It's my favorite thing. Delightful. All right, I don't know how to end an interview, so I'm just gonna hit stop recording.